Did I do it? What day is it? I did it. I skipped Thanksgiving. Well, now that's just mean. Happy Thanksgiving on this beautiful Christmas Eve. I didn't come up with an idea for this year's Thanksgiving video. Instead, the idea revealed itself to me. This is America's Most Iconic Ice Creams, Salt & Straw's recipe book, and contained within this tome are endless revelations of all their creamy secrets. And by endless, I mean like 94 recipes. Well, 99 if you count the bases as separate recipes. Which I don't, so it's 94. But 94 secrets, that's still nothing to sneeze at, which, gesundheit, but cover your mouth. This is a kitchen. One of the pre-order benefits for this book was a live Zoom class with Tyler Malek, Salt & Straw's co-founder and head ice cream maker guy.
We are here in our test kitchen.
Now, he walked everyone through the steps of how to make their Lucky Charms flavor, otherwise known as the non-copyright infringing Pots of Gold and Rainbows flavor. Yeah, it was fun, but the process involves a lot more crushing than you'd think.
Grinding it down to a powder.
However, a lot of the non-crushing parts of the process are just churning the ice cream, so there's a lot of downtime to chat. And that's when he brought up Thanksgiving.
Right now we're planning out our Thanksgiving menu, which is kind of our take on 5 Thanksgiving dishes. One of the ones that didn't make it was green bean casserole. Not good. But
I like that you're trying.
We're making green bean flavored ice cream, and we're beating Tyler Malek at his own game. I've decided he's my rival now. Oh, I've got a family that loves me and a successful business that makes a quality product. You sicken me. Now, I'm gonna set one rule here before I begin. No hiding the green bean flavor under something else. The final result needs to be green bean ice cream, not, hey, could you tell that I snuck green beans into this strawberry ice cream? None of that. Now, it just so happens that my grandmother has the greatest green bean recipe I've ever had in my life. In a horrible twist of irony, she was terrible at desserts, but those green beans were amazing. So I called up my mom, and I had her send me the recipe.
We're stuck in there.
Okay, so first we're gonna need a tablespoon of mirin, which is a sweet rice wine for cooking, along with a tablespoon of soy sauce, 1.5 teaspoons of sesame oil, and salt. No amount is given, so I'm just gonna assume it's a dash, however much a dash of salt is actually supposed to be. We're gonna heat up some salted water and parboil the green beans. Parboil? What the hell does that mean? Parboiling or leaching is the partial or semi-boiling of food as the first step in cooking. We need to keep those green beans in there with the lid off for only like 2 minutes. They only need to soften up a little bit to help them soak up the sauce, but we are taking every precaution to make sure that they stay crunchy. Then we're gonna mix the sauces and the dash of salt together in a little bowl, strain the beans, pour the sauce, mix them together. Okay, good news. These are still delicious.
I think I'm just gonna keep munching on these throughout the shoot. Gonna be eating a lot of ice cream later. May as well stock up on vegetables first.
Now, I don't think I need to tell you that vegetables and desserts are complete opposites on the flavor wheel. So the rough part of green bean ice cream is going to be finding a way to make them get along. Now, the first step in designing any ice cream is going to be deciding on a base. So I'm going to use Salt & Straw's coveted, okay, Tyler, calm down, coveted butterfat base. Now, from what I can gather, this seems to be the most versatile base. It's like the, well, I want to call it vanilla, but it's pointedly not vanilla. It's like playing as Mario in Smash Bros. Just average stats across the board. This is the Smash Brothers Mario of ice cream bases. First, I'm going to stir a half a cup of sugar together with 2 tablespoons of milk powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum. Next, I'm supposed to stir 1 1/3 cups of whole milk together with 2 tablespoons of corn syrup and whisk in the dries. Then I'm going to cook it over medium heat until the sugar has dissolved, but before the milk starts to simmer. Once that happens, I'm supposed to take it off the stove and stir in another 1 1/3 cups of very cold, heavy cream and store the whole thing in an airtight container. Now, the thing about ice cream bases is that you need to let them rest. You need to let them rest for at least 24 full hours. I have been doing some practicing, and I found that if I let a base rest for 23 hours, it would come out super runny. And if I let it rest for 25 hours, it was perfect. I don't know what it is, just like the 24-hour mark, that's the magic line. That's the minimum you can do. You are never making ice cream for tonight. You are only ever making ice cream for tomorrow at the earliest. So now that we've got our base, we need to figure out what the actual ice cream is going to taste like. There is a recipe in here that is very similar to my grandma's green bean recipe. The lemongrass and fish sauce caramel ice cream, which was apparently born out of an attempt to desertify chicken wings. I don't know how that is. No chicken is involved in this recipe at any stage, but whatever. I don't know what's going on up in Portland. You guys are crazy up there. I love it. Portland never change. Now we're gonna modify this recipe in the hopes that we can better capture the flavor of my grandma's green beans. So first up, for the caramel, we're going to switch out the 2 tablespoons fish sauce and 1 teaspoon soy sauce with the green bean recipe's 1 tablespoon of mirin, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, and 1 1/2 teaspoons of sesame oil. A cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of corn syrup, 2 teaspoons of molasses, and a 1/4 cup of water all walk into a bar. The bartender says stir these guys together until the sugar looks wet, then cook them while stirring until the sugar is melted. The book says to cook them on medium-high heat, but when I did that in my practice, I just burned the caramel, so I'm doing this on medium-low. Once the sugar is melted, I'm going to continue to cook them with the lid off until the whole deal turns to have a dark amber color. After that, I'm going to take it off the heat and pour in 1/2 cup of unsweetened coconut cream in a thin, steady stream. The book warns you to stand back during this part because the mixture will bubble up as you pour in the cream. And that did happen to me when I was practicing, but it didn't happen when I cooked it here at a lower heat. Then you add in the sauces and stir the whole thing up. Then it's time to put a candy thermometer in there and cook until it hits exactly 224 degrees Fahrenheit. At that point, I'm supposed to take the pan off the heat and slowly stir in a tablespoon of unsalted butter until it all melts. Then we cool this off at room temperature and store it in an airtight container. The caramel has cooled down. Let's get ourselves a taste test here. That's good. That's like legitimately actually really good. It's both good and it actively, like accurately captures the flavor of my grandma's green bean soy sauce. Wow, that's really good. I'm not gonna put this back in because I want other people to have some of this, but this is looking very, very good so far. Now, the lemongrass ice cream was very good in its purest form when I practiced, so I'm going to make very few changes. Basically, all I'm gonna do is add green bean bean flavor into it. So, just like the recipe says, I'm going to cut the top and bottom 6 inches off of these 3 stalks of lemongrass, discard the outer layers, and slice them up thin. But then, I'm going to also cut up a bunch of green beans. And I'm doing a whole 12-ounce bag because I want to get the maximum bean flavor that I can. The recipe also calls for gula jawa, which is an Indonesian coconut palm sugar. I tried my hardest. I could not find it anywhere, so I will be substituting brown sugar instead. The book says that that is an appropriate substitute if necessary. I'm sure that the flavor would be more interesting and robust if I actually used gula jawa, but I just couldn't find it. So I take a 1/4 cup of the brown sugar and stir it into 3/4 cups of water. I'm going to bring the brown sugar solution to a boil, then immediately turn it off and add the lemongrass and green beans. Then I'm supposed to steep it for 30 minutes, essentially making a sort of green bean tea. After that half hour is up, it's time to strain out the solids, leaving us with a little container of veggie syrup. That also goes into an airtight container in the fridge. Now you know we're gonna need fried onions in order to make this bad boy complete. So let's get started chopping those up, shall we? So the first thing you're gonna wanna keep in mind when you're chopping up onions. Due to a previously unforeseen mishap, I will now be using store-bought fried onions. So, it's been 24 hours. Don't worry, I didn't wear this the whole time. This is just wardrobe for the video. The recipes in this book were all developed for machines with a 1.5 quart capacity. And while I do have an ice cream maker, it just so happens that it has a 1 pint capacity. So for those of you who use metric, congratulations, your system actually makes sense. But over here in America, we use the imperial system, which everyone has to use every day, but still no one can ever remember. So I guess actually I'm explaining this to everyone. Anyway, 1.5 quarts is 3 pints. For the green bean syrup, the recipe calls for 1/2 cup. So if we're doing 1/3 of 1/2 cup, that's going to come out to 2 tablespoons and 2 teaspoons. Oh, that is a smell. That is a very green bean smell. In fact, actually, let's see what this even is just on its own. Actually, that's not half bad. It's kind of weird, but it's not half bad. It's sort of a sweet green bean flavor. It's hard to describe it in any terms other than just exactly what it is, but it's not that bad. Now the recipe also wants us to add 1/2 teaspoon of the salt, which for our purposes equals out to 1/6 of a teaspoon. So I guess a dash. All right, my grandma's got me. A dash of salt is the amount we need. Still don't know how much that is, but that's the correct amount. Thankfully, the base makes exactly 3 cups. So all we need to do is put in 1 cup per churning load. So I just got the bowl out of the freezer, and the bowl should be sitting in the freezer for about 24 or ideally 48 hours. That way it gets nice and cold. I have learned so much about ice cream making through this. I did not know how to make ice cream at all before I started this video, and now I've learned oh so much. It's pretty neat, actually. See, what happens is we put on this guy, and it churns it, and the bowl is very cold, but the churning whips it up so that it is like melted from the movement, but frozen by the bowl. It's pretty cool. I genuinely think it's awesome, and I like that I get to be a part of this beautiful history of ice cream making. Anyway, now comes the boring part where we sit for a half hour while it does this. You know what, while it's doing this, why don't we cut to me tasting out this year's new salt and straw flavors, shall we? So I'm just gonna get out ahead of this, because I'm sure a lot of you are asking, hey, Silas, didn't you used to have like a dedicated table for this with a yellow cloth and everything on it? And yes, I did. However, unfortunately, we did have to sell that table in order to fund my debilitating addiction to paying rent. I just can't stop. I know it doesn't do anything for me, and yet every month I'm doing it again. Remember, if anyone ever asks you to pay rent, that person is not your friend. I had a lot of fun trying to guess the flavors last year, so we're gonna do that again. You are going to find out what it is. I'm gonna cut to it now.
Cranberry Orange Sorbet. If there's ever a time to go all in on cranberries, it's Thanksgiving. The dairy-free addition to our feast is classic and undeniably delicious, designed to pair with pretty much everything on the table. Fresh Pacific Northwest cranberries, straight from the bogs at Stallbush Farms, simmer with fragrant orange zest, balancing the berry's mouth-puckering tartness with a burst of citrusy sweetness. The result? A bright, jammy compote spun into a juicy sorbet sauce.
However, I do not know what it is. Oh, okay. So starting off, we've got like it looks like a sherbet. I say sherbet like I'm a child. It's hard not to. Sherbet is just, it rolls off the tongue better. It's pink, and that's usually like a raspberry situation. Oh, that's icy. Yeah, that's like an Italian ice sherbet situation. Oh, that's not raspberry. Is it? It's not raspberry. Unless it is. It might be raspberry. No, it's Thanksgiving. It's cranberry. It's cranberry. It's a cranberry sherbet. They wouldn't just do cranberry, though. This is Salt and Straw. It's cranberry and something else. I want to say like a cranberry lemonade. Like it's cranberry with like another citrusy thing. I'm not tasting any like weird herbs or anything. It's just kind of like fruity. Okay, I'm gonna say final guess. Oh, no, wait, there's an aftertaste. It's cranberry. What's that lingering bit? It's cranberry sage? Is it cranberry sage lemonade? That's a weird arrangement, but not unheard of with Salt and Straw, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna say cranberry lemon sage. Is that it? Cranberry orange! Knew there was citrus in there. I think I was just making the sage up. I don't think there's any kind of thing there. I think I was just overthinking it. Okay, ice cream number 2. Let's find out what this one's about. Maple Koginut squash with pomegranate. This year, Row 7 is bringing the side. A roasted squash casserole by the pint. The Seed Company, founded by Dan Barber of Blue Hill, works alongside chefs, farmers, and plant breeders to develop flavorful new organic vegetables. And their Koginut squash has become a cult favorite. Roasted, the squash becomes velvety, and its rich, nutty flavor lends a fresh herbaceousness to the maple syrup and sage ice cream. A deep, wine-like pomegranate jelly ripples across every scoop with a bright acidity that cuts through the caramelized sweetness. Buttery Ritz cracker and hazelnut crumble folds in for a textural crunch, like the topping of your favorite baked Thanksgiving dish. Last year, when I went to the Salt and Straw place, the brick and mortar store, I spoke with the woman who rang me up and told her, like, hey, could you go get these? And that I had Liv write down on a sheet of paper. And I said, I'm guessing what they are. And she was like, oh, that's so fun. You're going to have to tell me how that went. And I went back this year, and she didn't remember me. It was very sad. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, starting off here, this is gorgeous. This is very, very pretty. Look at that. It looks like it's got some kind of a jam, some kind of bread situation. Is that what's going on in here? Jam and bread? They didn't get rid of Parker House Rolls, did they? I liked Parker House Rolls. If this is replacing Parker House Rolls, it better be good.
Well, damn. Sayonara Parker House Rolls. If this got rid of them, I think they earned their place. That's really good. Definitely a bread of some kind. With the jam, that means it's either some kind of side bread or it's like a pie, like a dessert. The bread could be bread, the bread could be crust. I'm gonna go with crust. Oh my God, that jam is delicious. Oh my God. That's some of the best jam I've ever had in ice cream. Okay, what is this jam? Is it strawberry? I believe apple. I mean, it doesn't taste very apple-y, but like, you know, sort of an apple strawberry thing. Because it feels like it's not quite strawberry. No, it's strawberry. The other sweetness, I think it's in the ice cream. I think it's strawberry jam and the apple-y, the thing that I'm thinking is apple, I think is in the ice cream. So good. This is their best one. It's so good. I'm gonna say maple. It's a maple strawberry thing. Oh, is it like a strawberry crumble? Oh, you don't make strawberry crumble. You make like apple, you make like cherry. I'm gonna say maple cherry crumble. That's my final guess. Maple cherry crumble. Maple... What? Koginut squash. Pomegranate. Oh, it's pomegranate. No wonder I couldn't place it. Oh, but I love pomegranate. Pomegranate's so good. I mean, you can tell. Pomegranate is one of my favorite fruits. I didn't guess it, though, but I love the taste of pomegranate. I guess I just didn't think that they'd put it in an ice cream, and I didn't put it together. What is Koginut squash? It looks like a pumpkin and a butternut squash had a child. God, this is so good. This is my favorite one they've ever made. If they do not bring this back next year, oh God. If they do bring it back next year, I'm not gonna get it. Have a little piece of paper that I bring in, say, you know, the two that are new, and also, please, if you brought back the maple Koginut squash with pomegranate, can I have that one as well? Okay, I gotta put this away. I gotta save some for Liv. Hello. Sorry, I didn't see you there. I was just calibrating my instrument. Now, the ice cream should be done relatively soon here. We will shortly take it out of here and get it ready to be frozen and firmed up. And there we go. We are at time. I'll see you in a couple hours when this firms up and we'll try the whole shebang. Well, thank God that's over. All right, let's see how this all comes together, shall we?
Take a gander at that.
All right, I'm gonna try to get a little bit of everything on the first scoop here. Moment of truth. It's fine.